back. It is 7 o'clock on Wednesday. Thank you for another edition of the Daily Smoke. I'm your host this evening, your boy, Brother Ron. I am 1/3 of the original members of the Daily Smoke, and we are all blessed to be even 3 members of a larger group of people that have decided to join us on this journey as we've been going with y'all. So thank y'all so much for joining us this afternoon, or this evening rather. And we're gonna have a really interesting conversation. I can't wait to get to the point of where we can sit down and have a conversation with each other about tonight's topic, which is AI, artificial intelligence. I think it's a very important conversation, but I think the conversation will only work if we stay on task. Number one, please stay on task. Whatever we're talking about, we have to make sure at all times that what we're talking about is related to the topic. The question we have, ask yourself the question that I want to ask tonight, is that related to what we're talking about? If you can't answer that, then that's probably not a good question at this moment. But it's also going to require you to be really focused and pay attention to what's being said, because then you see how important this information is. And hopefully after you guys get a chance of seeing it this evening, and we're going to take our time in going through it, but after you guys get a chance to cover some of the information we're going to talk about this evening, I really do hope you walk away looking at this form of technology different. So we're not going to rush. That we're not going to do. If you guys find this interesting enough to where y'all want to keep it going, I'm willing to do that. I mean, hey, just me by myself tonight. You know what I mean? So I can do what I want. I mean, that's exactly what Los the Ghost and Bobby would do, knowing them. Now, I would rather you all understand the basics of what we're going to talk about tonight, even if it means we cover this much of ground, because we really got this much of ground. Like, there are pages of information I would love to share with y'all. I think you would find so interesting. But if we only cover half of the first page, I am willing to just take as long as we need, however many episodes we need to get through this material, because I really think you would appreciate it all the better if we approach it from that standpoint than trying to condense all of this into an hour broadcast or more. So before going any further into tonight's subject, we definitely have to thank our sponsors and the people that believe in us and the people that support us, whether it's through their time, the use of their venues, or hosting us whenever we visit their establishments. We have to pay them homage. They believed in us when we was just beginning to believe in ourselves, and it reinforced us to believe in ourselves. Starting with Bangin 832 Radio, www.bangin832.com. Check them out. Every past episode of the Daily Smoke every Sunday at 7 p.m. Now, for some of y'all that don't want to go to church on Sunday, come to Bangin832radio.com every Sunday at 7 p.m. Because I understand church may not be for all of y'all. We want you to have access to some of our earlier episodes that I think you would find very interesting. And we would be most appreciative if you would do so in that manner. For the rest of you over here that do want to go into the spiritual, the religious, the esoteric, the philosophical, the good down-home, old-time religion approach, Queen Mother has her own show at 7 p.m. every Sunday. And she's talking about and exposing and unraveling certain parts of the word that she would like to share with us some of her ideas, and some of them may be quite different than what you would expect. She caught me off guard with a couple of things. And she welcomes you all to contact her as well. So you can watch this or that, So we have Bangin832.com, Bangin832radio.com over here. And we have Queen Mother, who has her own platform with us now here at the Daily Smoke every Sunday as well. And she's addressing our spiritual nourishment at 7 p.m. So, hey, either way, you should be, taking out at least 7 o'clock to see what we're doing, because I guarantee you we're here to help enrich you one way or another, okay? Next up, oh man, we have Tamia's Touch of Care Massage Therapy. To get with life, get a massage. Touch my body. All right. Hey, go to Tamia Anderson, www.tamiaanderson.com. And there you'll find she has different modalities of healing. She's a professional of the healing arts when it comes to like touching your body, manipulating, how the energy is around your body, or, stretching you in certain ways, massage intense areas, just working all that stress out of you physically with her hands. So that when you come up from the table, it's almost like you almost feel renewed, and reinvigorated. You really should check out TamiaAnderson.com. Touch her body. Well, touch my body. Then next up, we have the Buy Black Marketplace, the ultimate pop-up experience. Every first and third Saturday from 12 to 6 p.m. I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm getting old. All right, yeah. So every first and third Saturday from 12 to 6 p.m. they have the Buy Black Marketplace, the Black Vendor Market Book and Art Fair. And it's open, free to the public, and they're calling all vendors where if you don't want to go there and necessarily buy something, but if you want to sell something, hey, if you have different items you want to put up to the market, bring it to the Shrine of the Black Madonna every first and third Saturday to the Buy Black Marketplace, the ultimate pop-up experience. And they're located at the Shrine of the Black Madonna. That address is 5309 MLK Boulevard, okay? That's here in Houston, Texas. Thank you so much. Thank you. And then, next up, we have Puff, Pass It, CBD, and more at 4130 and a half Cavalcade, Houston, Texas, 77026. Check them out. They have Puff Pass It on Instagram. She's on Facebook. She's on Twitter. She has her own Yelp designation, Puff, Pass It, CBD, and more under Yelp. Wherever you want to find her, she right there. You can't miss her. And you can check out, she has her own email where if you want to send an email to her, but probably you can get a quicker response if you call her. She has a number here for you as well. And we'll list that number also. And it looks like, oh, actually, I have it right here. I'm sorry. That number is, I don't have the whole number. Yeah, so I'm going to get that number to you all. I'm so sorry I don't have it on me right now. But last but not least, love you so much, Tanya. Thank you for everything. Last but not least, you have us, the Daily Smoke, THADailySmoke.com. Check out all of our past episodes. And not only that, you'll know what we're going to talk about in the future coming up and everything over the next couple of weeks. And by the way, we will have Murder One scheduled to come in and hang out with us on next Wednesday. So please come out and support the brother. Man, I don't know about y'all, but my allergies are killing me for real. It's no joke. All right. So if you can and you would like to donate to this platform, please, by all means, go to Cash App, tdsmoke.com. I'm sorry, TD Smoke. And you're more than welcome to donate to us. We greatly appreciate it if you would. If not, we would appreciate a good word of mouth, just a good referral. Just send this platform to someone that doesn't know who we are, and then let that person decide for themselves. And like say, hey, I find some of this interesting, or I'll be like, hey, I find this dumb as hell, or hey, I don't think it's interesting, or hey, something to think about. You know what I mean? You never know what you're gonna get. And interesting enough, most people. Excuse me one second. My allergies are really killing me. Got some water. Sorry, y'all. My allergies are really, really killing me, but I'll be all right. I will be all right. But anyway, yeah, any way that you can support us, we really do appreciate it. And we want to, at the end of the day, we want you to walk away thinking that you didn't waste an hour of your time or more. I don't like it when people waste my time. I really don't. And if you're gracious enough to join us, for these next now going on like 48 minutes or what have you, like we really understand how precious that is. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump into the subject matter, y'all. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I gotta be really honest, okay? I am nervous as hell. And I'm nervous not because I'm scared of y'all. We're all family, so I ain't worried about that. What I'm nervous about is I'm about to try to present on this topic that I've been studying it. I'm not an expert in the area, if you will, but I'm interested in enough where once I'm around smarter people, I know what questions to ask. And so that way, I can understand it better. So all of us, we did our research on it and looked it up, and it's going to be difficult presenting this information, and that's why I said we have to make sure that if you call in, you're calling in because of something that was specifically stated or what we're talking about. Because if we lose focus of what we're talking about, your question would become more of a distraction. And you're more than welcome to give us a call anytime. Just because the show goes live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, from 7 to 8 doesn't mean that you can't call us anytime. We have our own line. You can contact us directly. And by the way, please, by all means, contact us tonight. And if you can, if you're from the Daily Smoke, please put the phone number up to the show, please, by all means. That way they can call in. If you want to call in and talk to me tonight while I'm live, we welcome that too, okay? But yeah, I'm really kind of intimidated because it's beautiful information. And I hope you find it as interesting as I did. Here we go. I'm going to read to you the quote that I found for this conversation. And I put it on our website. And this quote just blew me away. The quote is, "Machine intelligence is the last invention humanity will ever need to make." By Nick Bostrom. Machine intelligence is the last invention humanity will ever need to make. Tonight we're going to talk about AI. And the title of tonight's show is An Automated World Addressing the Future People. Now, in order for us to make and I really mean this, y'all. I'm not trying to be long-winded, but this is very important. This is how crucial that it is that we get this point. It's going to be a leap. It's going to take you, and I'm going to do my best to make this as simple and interesting as possible. It is interesting, but I want you to find it as interesting as I do. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about artificial intelligence. That's why we're here. Artificial intelligence, we're going to have to establish some ground rules. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to cover what is artificial intelligence. If you're going to talk about something, then you should be able to explain what it fundamentally is, which is what where we're going to start out tonight. So we're not going to have this conversation like artificial intelligence. It mean this to me, or it could be that. No, artificial intelligence is artificial intelligence, and there's a standard to it in terms of why they call it artificial intelligence and what it constitutes, because that's going to be the platform from which everything we talk about from that point going forward. After we cover what is artificial intelligence, then we're going to talk about the different forms of artificial intelligence. Okay? After we talk about the different forms of artificial intelligence, then we will be better situated to address what the conversation or episode is fundamentally about. An automated world addressing a future people. Once we understand the basics of automation as we understand it now, and what the big, huge fear is, or concern, or trepidation of the future is the machines are going to take us over, eradicate us. Let's first understand what artificial intelligence is. And then once we understand what it is, then we can say, okay, and what different types are there? So now when you hear someone say, well, the AI gonna take over, or they somebody wrote the code or whatever, or what, it's all in the algorithm, they throw these terms around and have no idea what they're talking about. Ask your average person, like, you know how they are. Well, when I saw the Matrix, that's, they was trying to say, like, it's a code to everything, and that's what I'm trying to tell people, like, like Kanye, he went crazy because, he started, messing with the algorithm. What algorithm? That's how they're talking. And we'll throw these terms around and cannot define it for you right now on the spot. Couldn't do it. Because what we're going to do is once we start addressing what AI is, the different forms of it, at this point you will be in the mind. At that point you will be in the mind of the programmer, the software designer. You'll be in their mind. You'll understand how they see things. You'll understand why AI is AI. After that, we're going to talk about, you got benefits and advantages of using AI. You got some disadvantages of using AI. We're going to talk about all of that. And then lastly, I wanted all of that to come to this. By the Pew Research Center, P-E-W Research Center. If you're watching this and you'd like to know one of my sources, check out the P-E-W Research Center. You can get this online. And the question is, most Americans say racial bias is a problem in the workplace. Can AI help? But we can't talk about that until we talk about this. Because this ain't gonna make sense until we get this. Let's get into it. Let's go. Let's go to work. Let's get it, y'all. Pray with me because I am so nervous. I have no idea. I am so nervous. Oh, thank you, lemonade. Here we go. Okay, gotcha. Oh, yeah, I ain't talking about it. If you're watching right now, just, give me a thumbs up or say a like or just, type anything on there, Just let me know you're live, you're out there listening, what have you. For real. All right. So check it out. Let's start from the beginning. Artificial intelligence. What is AI? AI is a machine that's able to learn, make decisions, and take action even when it encounters a situation it has never come across before. Talking about a machine being able to not only have a body of data, but also it's been programmed to do something. And with the data that it has, when in a situation that it is not familiar with, based on the data that it has, it makes a decision to do something or respond to something that he or she, it has never been exposed to. Does that make sense? That's really, at the end of the day, that's what AI is at the end of the day. It is to make a decision. And the validity of the AI itself is greatly determined the validity of AI is greatly determined by how well it predicts our behavior. And we're going to get to that, I promise. I'm just giving you an overview. And we are so used to thinking that old style computing, back when they used to have mainframes and huge rooms of servers would be everywhere, or reel to reels, just depending on when you came up, or servers or what have you. It would be huge warehouses of them, and that's the server, and we would say, man, that's computing. What's going to happen when that thing starts thinking for itself? And what I didn't know until today, actually, was the thinking of the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. That computing, that's total different thinking than computing with AI. I learned a lot, and I really hope you find this interesting. I didn't know that there was a difference. There are some things we have to make sure we understand before we have the conversation, because it's related. Let me give you an example of some misconceptions of AI. Examples of like robots with superhuman abilities and superhuman intelligence is far from reality, such as data from, let's say if you watch Star Trek, the robot that's real smart and starts to try to develop its own emotions, and him and Jordan LaForge are real cool or whatever. That's light years. That's like as far as from us getting out of the solar system than where current computing is relative to that. So I wanted you to have an understanding of what AI is. I know you're thinking robots, but if you're thinking robots, you're misunderstanding AI. Think of AI as hyper intelligent or hyper expansive chips, or the ability to process a lot of information. It's almost like a computer now. It's on steroids. Like if y'all thought I was really good when I was analog, wait till we go digital. You know what I mean? That sent computing on a whole different trajectory. Just like cell phones. You know, cell phones are like, hey man, it was pretty cool to have it in your car, but oh my God, you mean everybody can have one of these on the planet, everywhere, all the time? You know, computing. But yeah, so talking about what AI is fundamentally, it's kind of like, think of it a different way. If you watch Star Wars, and you remember C3PO, the one walking around and all that with the little eyes, and he always had these numbers in his head, and he was real smart. He could spit out these statistics real good. That's another form of AI that we have in our heads in terms of what we can ultimately expect, like robots that's smart like that and behaves like that, but even behaves more human or what have you. But again, that's fantasy land in terms of it working to the degree of where you understand it. That's fantasy land. That's just how far away from reality we are from making that happen. Doesn't mean we're not working towards it. Just means that we're a long ways from it. All right. Now, think of old computing versus new computing like this. A non-AI computer program is programmed to repeat the same task in the same manner every single time. It can be reprogrammed, but without the ability to adapt. So in other words, it used to be, think about like video games. So like when you play a video game and all the information is on the console itself, and you put your video game in there, what have you, then you can play different video games and all of that, and the games can make decisions. But whatever game you're playing, whoever made that game, if they didn't put it in the game, it's not in the game. If it's in the game, then the people that made the game put it in the game. They put it in the computer. And whatever's there is there, and whatever's not isn't, unless somebody actually goes in and puts in different data, say, okay, you know what, we're going to give you a bonus stage this year or this month or whatever in this video game, and they download it onto their video game, and now they can do something different. But it doesn't do it on its own, is my point. That's old computing. AIs, on the other hand, are able to learn and solve more complex problems, including problems never before presented. Here's an example. Driverless cars are not computer programs to learn. Yes, driverless cars are not computer programs to learn how to navigate every single intersection on the planet. Rather, software and hardware engineers are using sensors to detect what's going on around them and to react, the AI that is, correctly to real world situations. In other words, they were saying, when you're looking at driverless cars, you're looking at AI. The reason you're looking at AI is because think of AI like this. The old computing was, if it's not there, I didn't put it there. If it's there, I put it there. But somebody has to interfere with it and put something in and pull something out. Like your desktop, your laptop, everything that you're pretty much using. with AI. AI is built to whatever I am sensing around me. I am programmed to interpret the world through the sensors. When you're talking about, let's say, driverless cars, and they have the sensors on the inside of the car and all that kind of stuff, because what the sensors are doing is they're throwing out signals. And the signals that it's throwing out is giving real-time readings, how fast, ever so many milliseconds, whatever, like car too close, this car over here going too fast, this car going too slow, hey, you're going so fast or whatever, okay, there's another truck ahead of us, 200 feet in front of us, and we're heading the speed of, the rate of speed or what have you. Like, these sensors are taking all of that in. And they're taught to, or they're trained, or coded, if you will. They're taught to look for certain things that's going to be around it. And I'm simplifying this, but I'm trying to give you a construct just that you can follow. So when it's looking for something over here, there may be a problem back here that I, as a regular driver, may not be aware, because I'm looking at the car up here to the left that's ahead of me. And that car is posing a problem. So I'm interested in that. I'm not maybe receptive now to what's behind me, versus AI. AI is already looking. And not only AI is saying, hey, this one over here messing up, but this one right here may need to make another decision regarding this over here, what have you. Because something is approaching us fast as another car. And it takes all of that data, and then it takes the leap a little bit further and goes, it makes a decision for you. Press the brake, press the gas pedal, make a left, make a right, speed up, slow down, change this lane, don't change this lane. What are the weather conditions? What are the conditions that the other drivers, how are they driving? It's taking all of that in. And interesting enough, it is easier to teach or program AI to respond to environmental factors or things in the environment. And that information becomes the basis of all of the AI's decisions when, let's say, it never came across an 18-wheeler, never coded to train one, to look for one, or was never programmed to look for one. Based on the data that's already in it, when it comes across the 18-wheeler, it's gonna recognize it as something on this road. And it's gonna literally tell you, like, okay, it's so far, it's so long, it's moving so fast, it weighs so much, or what have you. We don't know what this is, but I need to make sure I stay so far away from it. So the car will slow down or speed up to get away from the 18-wheeler. Closed-ended computing of the 70s and 80s and 90s and early 2000s would never do that. That's why when they say what do they call it, the ghost in the machine, that's why they say, like, in this situation, the computer's thinking for itself. Yes and no. Yes, it's thinking for itself because it's making a decision, which is a phenomenal leap of human advancement alone. It's making a decision. But no, it isn't, because the decisions that it's making are based off the factors that we programmed it. So we set the table, if you will. It's just making decisions. It can make a whole lot other decisions, if not better decisions. Now, let's look at it this way also. Since we understand that artificial intelligence is where it then makes the decision, you have two forms of artificial intelligence: strong artificial intelligence and weak artificial intelligence. Strong AI, also known as artificial general intelligence, where the computer has human-like intelligence, capable of learning new tasks, conversing and understanding instruction in various modes and forms. But that is still sci-fi. That's still sci-fi. What we are referring to when we're talking about AI and we're worried about the computer taking over, that's called weak intelligence. Weak artificial intelligence. Weak artificial intelligence is also known as narrow AI. These AIs are trained to perform and aren't able to do everything. And here's an example, prime examples. Siri is a weak AI. Alexa is a weak AI. It's an AI. It's a weak AI for the reasons I just stated. They have to be taught what to do. But when we're thinking AI, we're thinking the science fiction part of it. That's not. That's strong artificial intelligence. Like the closer we get to that, that's the ideal in terms of artificial intelligence. But in terms of where we are, now think about strong AI again is this, known as artificial general intelligence, where the computer has human-like intelligence, capable of learning new tasks, conversing and understanding instruction in various modes and forms. We're a long ways from that. So if nothing else that I've said that seemed like even halfway interested, just notice when I say, notice how just now you've just even shifted your you gave it too much credit. Not that it's not important and brilliant, and it's going to be interesting where AI goes with us, but I just want you to understand where we are now. Weak artificial intelligence. Okay. So, the weak artificial intelligence that we use, that AI, that is AI, the way that these computers are taught is something called machine learning. And it's the process whereby AI is provided a large training data set. And here's where weak artificial intelligence shines. If you want a machine to recognize different animals, all you would have to do is provide it with a large volume of different animal faces. From there, depending on what the faces look like, how they're structured, all the different similarities, the differences within them, the machine then, based on the information that you provided it to understand what an animal is, it now has almost everything it needs to understand what an animal is that it may not have come in contact with. It has enough information without ever coming across a bear. Living in this computer could have been designed in Argentina, having ever come across a Siberian tiger. But if you give it enough animal faces, when it does come across a Siberian tiger, that artificial intelligence will recognize this as an animal and will make, other assessments as well. So you're seeing something learning, and that's what's scaring us. But we're going to get to that. I'm not going to go ahead of the point. But if what I'm saying, I hope this is making sense. I hope it's not boring the hell out of you. But anyway, machine learning. So when you take all of those faces of those animals and put them together, that is what an algorithm is. An algorithm is a set of instructions for solving a problem. Similar to what we do when you got something called a recipe. All you good cooks know this. A recipe, think of an algorithm as a recipe. And the recipe is a set of instructions to prepare a dish. Same thing with an algorithm. It's just a set of instructions for this AI to do whatever set of instructions there are. The way that you get the algorithm is through coding. Coding is the actual step-by-step process of completing something the same way every single time. Just like you tie your shoestrings the same way every single time. That's a code. Because you do it every single time, every time, the same way. If there's strings, that's how you do it. That's what the coding part would be. The algorithm would be, hey man, you've had so many different shoes that if you have strings on anything like that that goes over your foot, you'll be able to tie the string. That would be the algorithm. And the algorithm itself is just so expansive. Again, shows you the beauty of AI. The data set that we can input within it is exponentially far above and beyond what man's active mind as of now can possibly process or even mimic. We can only do maybe 2-3 things at the same time at best. Well, this AI thing, you're talking about millions upon millions of things at the same time. No problem, easy, period. It just has its shortcomings. Okay. Now, before we talk about shortcomings, let's get to the topic that we need to discuss. Tonight's topic, since we have let me wait a minute. Before I go any further, let me ask a question. If you're not asleep or bored out of your mind right now, and you're still watching, can you type into the screen for me one or two words like? And what I am saying is making sense. Is this making sense to you? I'll be right back. Just let me know if this is making sense or not. I'll be right back. Here we go. So, again, for those of you all that aren't asleep, nobody type anything. All right, I guess y'all bored. All right, no worries. So let's go ahead and go into it anymore. So, at this point, now that we understand the basic points of what artificial intelligence is and what constitutes it, how it's different from our more modern, familiar notions of computing. AI is totally different. So, what we're looking at each other on right now, like I'm using a computer, or you may be looking at me through a computer or your phone or what have you. That's different than the phones know that doesn't apply. But the older computers, those do apply. The AI in in our computers now, those old computers, that's not what they were designed for. And that mode of thinking in terms of computing is dying away now. It is all about AI. It is the future. That's the direction that we're headed. But the question, well, not a question, but the statement is AI, an automated world addressing a future people. So now that we got AI, let's understand the benefits and hopefully and advantages of artificial intelligence. The first thing is people that now the way we're using AI as of now, this is how it's going right now. AI, automation significantly increases efficiency and productivity in various sectors. It leads to cost savings, higher production rates, improved quality assurance. It's available 24/7. So where you would need like 3 individuals to do a job to keep this business going for 24 hours, you need none of them. Okay. 24/7 availability, AI's ability to take action independent of human involvement. That's the important point of AI, which is it is designed to behave and make it's designed to behave and make different decisions independent of human involvement. It also has an infinite scalability. And what they mean by that is this. Now just think about this for 1 minute. Think about how brilliant AI is, just for 1 minute. Salespeople can get a feel for what a customer wants only after multiple interactions. So I'm here, welcome to Burger King, may I take your order? No, this is Ron talking. Listen, it's me. I can only represent me. Welcome to Popeyes, may I take your order? After about the 3rd time I come to that Popeyes restaurant, chick gonna know, let me guess, 3 wings and a biscuit, right? Spicy, right? Strawberry soda? Yeah, gotcha, Mr. Johnson. That part. It took three interactions. AI only needs 1. And let me tell you where you're experiencing it every day of your life and you may not be aware of it. Let's say you go to Targets. In Targets, you go there and buy a knit sweater. Your phone, about a day or 2 later, will start sending you messages from Targets in your email box. Text messages straight to your phone, whatever the case may be. If you like this kind of knit sweater, then you might like that. Or if you like this, then you might like that. That is literally AI behaving in real time in terms of saying, if you like such and such, then you shouldn't have any problem with liking these other things. Why is that important? Because that's increasing their sales. If that's increasing their sales, they're doing it because, hey man, it's almost like getting you hooked on crack. It's like, hey man, how they say one time is one too many when it comes to drugs? They took that same attitude towards marketing with AI. Because they'll say, if you like Transformers, then you might like G.I. Joe. If you like G.I. Joe, then you might like, whatever else is out there or was out there. Smurfs, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like they'll do that and they'll use that information just based on, this is one small point, by the way. They'll use this information based on your buying habits and be able to develop a profile of you. Almost, and to be honest, if I'm not mistaken, I think a psychological profile just based off of your spending habits. And based on that, AI then can say, all right, well, what does that look like times 100,000? 100,000, what does that look like times 100 million? What is people into right now? What are the things people are into right now? Excuse me. That's AI going to work on you. That's AI going to work because they know now Why should I now have to go through the hassle of coming up with a business plan, coming up, getting the funding or the grant, hiring personnel, building the business, put the business in a certain part, let's just say part within New Mexico, and hope this business works. When AI can just look at all the variables around you and tell you whether or not this thing is going to work or not with a fair degree of certainty. New Mexico, you may not want to you may not want to open up a hot dog stand there. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what that would look like in New Mexico. That just don't look like something they'd be into to me. I'm just saying, I'm not picking on them. I'm just saying, like like if you in Alaska, like selling ice cream probably ain't something that you making a lot of money off of. You're in Alaska, so okay. But anyway, yeah. So that's what AI can do. It can like predict a lot of things that the human mind and processing unit, as best as we can at this point, it greatly increases our productivity as a whole. And then as a result of that, that means that whoever owns that mode of AI or human, computer interaction, whatever, and they got it like on an Amazon level, well, okay, well, that's just how good they're using that form of AI or that technology to benefit their model, their business model. You can have that same AI, but you can just tailor it to fit whatever your model is or whatever you're trying to build, okay? The next thing it does is automation has safety and risk reduction increases, meaning automation reduces human involvement in dangerous tasks, thus minimizing risk of injury and or death. Robots perform physically demanding repetitive behaviors which lessens exposure to human conditions. So now you see where we can program robots to make decisions and put the robots in the hazardous conditions and still get the job done. Thing that comes to my mind is window washing. That's a long ways up. That's a long ways up. You got to make sure you're tied off properly. You got to be on point, man, because oops up there ain't nobody. Oh, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be a minute before somebody come help you. God willing, it don't happen to you. But AI, no problem. You just send a robot up there. Damn thing fall, you just broke a robot. Get you another one. I'm sure it's gonna be expensive, but that's the point. Like meaning, you don't have to worry about certain things you would have to worry about if humans were in that situation. That's what I'm saying. And that's one of the things that AI is doing. And also, it increases convenience, meaning like automation makes life convenient. We are so lazy as a society. But that's because we can afford to be. Like this is where we've evolved to. And think about like the convenience of everything. You have self-driving cars. You have smartphones. You have smart homes, as a matter of fact, because of AI. And we utilize this and use this. I mean, at this, like who would have ever thought in 1955 you could call from your home or your computer to some place and tell them what you want to eat and you'll pay for it that way and they'll bring it to you. Whoever would have saw it a day as we have today. Look at the modern convenience that AI has presented us with. Also, interesting enough, there are advances in medicine. Swiss researchers announced in spring of 2023 that AI was used to help a paralyzed man walk after 12 years. AI knew which COVID variants would be dominant over other variants and where and when the rates of those variants would increase and occur. That's That's how well AI can process vast amounts of information in lightning speed that would take a good God. How many how many astrophysicists can you spare? Just to put a dent in that work. And here they are. They can process this amount of information, and it has access to that amount of information. So that if there is anything that we ain't covered, I can pretty much respond to whatever the situation is, independent of what they telling me that they would have told me. They only supplied me with the options. I made the determination how to deal with it. AI. We'll talk more about that because that's the dangerous part. But you know what? It is 7:56, and we down to 6 people, and y'all probably just bored as hell. So I tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and stop it right here. Those was the benefits of AI. The next show we're gonna complete is we're gonna talk about the disadvantages of AI, which are very interesting, and then we're gonna talk about artificial intelligence and public opinion. Then we're going to get to answer the question. Most Americans say racial bias is a problem in the workplace. Can AI help? Now look at all the information we covered tonight. Just don't understand an AI. Because that way, when the second part of this comes up, we'll be better positioned to understand. Let's talk about racial bias in the AI world. But listen, y'all, thank y'all so much this afternoon for joining me. I do appreciate you all. Thank you so much. I do miss my brothers, Bobby and Brother Los, man. I miss you, Queen Mother. I miss you, Tiffany, LaDonna, Danessa, Brother Dwight. We got AK on board with us. I miss all you guys. I can't wait to see you all soon. And thank you all for watching the show this evening. And we just appreciate you for everything you do. I guarantee you, I can't promise you that every show such as this one would be a hit. I'm sorry it wasn't as. If there's something else I could have done to present this work to you better, please, by all means, send us an email and let me know. Because at the end of the day, we can't promise that we'll always knock it out the park, but I promise you, we swinging for the fences. I promise you that every single show. So, but we thank you all for your, for watching us and everything. We thank you for your support, and look forward to seeing you all on Friday. Thank God it's Friday editions with your boy Brother Los and myself, and our brother Bobby Hood will be with us. But you all take care. God bless. Be well. I appreciate your time. One love. Peace.